that. So I want to just head towards the practicalities, because that's where things may go right or wrong, or may not be so clear, just to understand this better. Because these two groups had to kind of break the ice at some point. You know, I would like to hear how you maneuver that sort of encounters, how you organize them into groups potentially, and the time frame perhaps that all that took, and whether you were, well, I know that you were doing reflective sessions, but I understand that they probably were quite autonomous in their arranging to meet and negotiate the process, but maybe I'm wrong. I just wanted to understand the details a little bit better, please. That would be great.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I didn't go into that in the presentation, so I can definitely do that now. So first of all, so this is just talking about the courses I've done it now and not as I want to do it. So that would probably be different. But to get into groups, first of all, the students all uploaded a video of themselves onto Flipgrid and watched the videos, and then gave one of our colleagues their preferences for being in a group, and then it was one Durham student and 2 or 3 Karlsruhe students, because I have more students, and they were then put into a group like that based on their preferences, which is obviously very superficial, but that was the way we did it. And then they had a first session to basically talk to each other and to get to know each other. And the sessions take place in class time. So that's very good, because the first time we did it, they were very autonomous, and it wasn't during class time. They were supposed to organize themselves via WhatsApp, and that didn't work. But now we're very happy to be able to have a class at the same time, so that we can meet during our class time. They go off in breakout rooms during the class time, and we sometimes visit them, but I rather leave them up to their own devices so that they can work together there. And then the reflections take place in the form of a reflection diary, which they have to fill in straight away after the telecollaborative session.
Thanks. And the duration of the whole sequence was a semester, or?
That's right, exactly, a semester, and it's always the winter semester, so from October to February. And if it's possible, we like to add a study trip in presence, where the Karlsruhe students go to Durham, but that's only been possible once, basically.
And the last question, sorry, I don't want to take too much time, but the last question I had was, because I'm not sure I understood, your students were taking English, first year English? Is that right? My students are about 3rd year English students, okay. Pre-service primary or secondary teachers, whereas the students in Durham are students of German ab initio, which means that they started learning or studying German at university and had never done it before, in their 2nd year. And did you find that there was some mismatch in terms of self-perceived abilities, and whether that was getting in the way?
I think there is definitely a different levels between, so my students are generally more advanced in English than the students are in German, and they recognize that, but until now that doesn't seem to have been a problem, but there is a different level.
Okay. And one problem I had with this setting up ice-breaking moments was that some students would not take on that at all. They would not want to be filming themselves. Did you find that a problem with some students? Were they all participating in the ice-breaking?
Yeah, I mean, it's a voluntary course, so they know what they're getting themselves into, more or less. So I have about 23 students who want to take it, and perhaps also due to the pandemic conditions, I think everything was online, and I think they were happy to have any possibility of connecting with people. So I think that definitely played a role.
The context is interesting, isn't it? Yeah. So,
yeah.
Great. Thank you so much. That's brilliant.
You're very welcome.
Simon, you have a question?
Yes, hello. Hi,
hello.
Thanks, Raphael. Thank you very much for it. Very interesting, not strategy, but this thing you put into place, dispositif that you put into place, it's really great. I just wondered how you deal with the thorny aspects. You've mentioned a little bit that some of them are quite controversial, and how frank the exchanges were. And I mean, or were they all singing from the same hymn sheet, from a sort of ethical stance? I mean, I can imagine if someone was a serious anti-vaxxer, for example, and the others weren't. I think young people these days tend to be very polarized in expressing their views about things. And how was that mitigated? I mean, did anyone intervene, or was there some sort of process?
Thank you for your comment. That's the problem, is I can't tell you anything about that yet, because that's what I want to investigate. That's the thing, and I'll tell you. I could tell you next year, but I'm a bit nervous about it, because, as I said, up until now, it was very, very sort of harmonious. Everybody was being very, very nice to each other, very polite. But I think there was a need for that, because they wanted to be friends, to connect. And adding this dimension is, yeah, it's going to be interesting. Yeah.
It's why I really like it, because you haven't just kept to very safe subjects. In a way, you've encouraged a sort of frank exchange of things which they might feel very strongly about. But yeah, it's potentially quite charged. I can see that.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. Rafael, I actually have a question. How was the process of the assessment of the products, of the translations themselves? Okay, was it carried out by yourself or other teachers, experts, or was it just a mere qualitative process and self-reflection process among students?
That's also something you're picking up on the important questions. That's also something that I need to work on, because I'm not entirely sure how to assess the products. So far, my findings are based on the qualitative aspects, on the research diaries and on the interviews. But now I need to focus on the translations. And see what I want to find out there, because it's not a case, it's not a sort of a good translation, which, I mean, quality assessment in translation is a difficult subject anyway, but to trace a development of either, well, ICC or symbolic competence throughout the different translations is also something that I'm still struggling with, basically. I'd appreciate any ideas. Yeah.
All right. Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much. Professor Rafael, thank you so much for sharing your presentation here. I found it extremely interesting too, because somehow here in Colombia, translation is kind of Satanized in language teaching, right? So it is a wonderful approach to reach it. Okay, so thank you very much, and thank you very much everyone for being here. It's been an honor to have you all here, and have a wonderful rest of the day. We're going to have our coffee break, and then we'll meet in the next session. All right.
Bye-bye. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Take care.
Bye. Bye.